Starting time. Welcome everyone, namaste. Thank you for joining. This is another session. Today we are doing whole body. And I think it's actually a good thing for the holidays because we are usually stressed. So moving a little bit of everything will be helpful. I'm going to start standing today. So find a standing spot and you can have your feet a little wider than your hips if you want. Relax your arms. And we're gonna go a little bit from top to bottom just to start moving and warming up. So first thing that I'm going to do here is to just check my feet in the sense of being more aware if I'm stepping mostly on my heels or on my toes. Try to find the place in between. Usually here in the standing position, we want to press a little bit more into the heels. No locking of the knees, so keep them a little soft there. And we tone through the legs, we lift through the spine, and we are going to take one inhalation through the nose. Exhaling, we bring the chin down to the chest. Then slowly we are going to inhale and bring the chin over towards the right. Exhaling, we let that chin come back to neutral or towards the chest. We go over to the second side, inhaling slowly over to the left. Exhaling, we bring it down. One more time for both. Inhaling over to the right. Exhaling. Inhaling to the second side. Exhale. And with the next inhalation, we bring the chin of the chest again to the neutral position. Good. From here, I'm going to do a few circles with my shoulders coming forward, back and down. And again, forward, up, back and down. Two more. Forward, up, back and down. And one more. Good. Then I'm going to add a little bit of twisting. So slowly I'm starting to move my torso side to side with my arms, letting them fly a little. My knees, like I said before, they are bent. So I'm not locking there. So I can move more of the pelvis as well. And you can look over to the side that you're going. This will start warming up more and mobilizing shoulders, trunk, chest. Just a couple more. Good. And then I'm coming back to center and keeping those feet a little wide, like I said before, and the knees a tiny bit bent. I'm going to inhale and reach over to the left with my right arm. Exhale, bring it down. Other side, inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And release it here. Shake it. I'm going to go towards the top of the mat. And this time I'm going to put my feet together. We are going to start moving a little more, but still building up. Okay. So feet together, press into your heels, lift your toes, try and separate them a little bit if you can. And then keeping the weight onto your heels and the mounts of your feet or toes, sorry, let's put the toes down. Okay, now from there, tone your outer shins into the midline of your body. That means that I'm kind of like trying to lift the flesh into my bones and the inner legs from the inner knees up to your pelvis, try to lift them up and tone them. Then send the tailbone down, lift through the lower belly, turn your palms to face out, and let's go from here, inhaling, sending arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, turn the palms to push up towards the ceiling, and press, press, press with the palms as you send your tailbone down. The chest will open, and I'm keeping my chin off the chest, sending my arms back. One big inhalation here. Exhale, release through the arms. Beautiful. Then from here, I'm going to bring my arms in front. I'm actually going to go backwards so you can see it. I'm going to move. And I'm going to bring the right arm over to the left, bend my left elbow, pull a little bit there. Okay, so I'm doing that at the top of the mat. Inhaling here, bring the chin over to the right. Exhale. I'm coming back to center, releasing. And I'm going to switch left arm over the right one. I'm bending my right elbow. I'm pulling that left arm over to the right. Keep toning through the legs and bring the chin over to the left. Take a deep breath in. Release with the exhale, just the breath there. And then I'm coming back to center and releasing again. Okay, let's move. Inhaling, we send the arms up. I'm reaching up through the spine and sending my tailbone down, so my low belly is also toned. Exhaling, I'm going to fold over the legs. Inhaling, I'm going to bring my hands to my thighs or knees, and I'm trying to straighten my arms, if I can, to reach up with my torso, low belly lifting, shoulders away from one another, and the inseam of my pants, I'm sending them backwards. Okay, so open there, inhale. Exhale, touch down. We are going to walk back a little, and I'm going to bring my knees down. I'm going to widen the knees a little more than my hips, but I'm going to keep my toes tucked here. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do here is that instead of having my fingertips pointing forward, I'm going to open my arms, my hands really to the side. So my fingers are pointing sideways. My right fingers are pointing to the right, my left ones to the left, okay? And the first thing that I'm going to do here is like the cow cat, the arching, and then I'm going to add another thing. So I'm going to inhale, arch, exhale, round, and then keeping the left hand as it is, I'm going to slide my right arm to the right and try to bring my right shoulder down. And then I'm coming back. Then I'm repeating, but I'm going the other way. Inhaling, I'm arching. Exhaling, I'm rounding. I'm coming back to center, and now I'm keeping my right hand where it is. I'm sliding the left arm. I don't have the space for me, but I'm sliding that left arm so I can bring the elbow down. Sorry, the shoulder down. And then I'm pushing back up. Okay, let's go again. Inhaling. Exhaling. Back to neutral, and I'm sliding my right arm out so I can bring the shoulder down. And back up. Beautiful. Second side again. Inhaling. Exhaling. Back to the neutral, and I'm sliding my left arm so I can bring the left shoulder down. Back to the top. Last one for both sides. Inhaling. Exhaling. And I slide my right arm, right shoulder comes down. Back to the neutral, last one, inhaling. Exhaling. Left arm sliding, bringing that shoulder down. Back to the top. Beautiful. Then from here, I'm putting my hands again, the neutral position or the normal way with the fingertips pointing forward. I'm going to move my knees a little further back. So I'm coming into the regular tabletop. You can here untuck your toes or keep the toes tucked under, your choice. Low belly lifting, lengthen through the crown of the head. That means that my chin is off the chest. And now I'm going to add almost like we call it sometimes swimmers. So my right leg with my left arm, they are going to move at the same time. I'm going to stretch and bring them in, and stretch and bring them in for 5. This is 3, 4, and 5. I'm putting it down and switching sides. Inhale, exhale. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm coming back, wiggle a little bit through the hips, send the hips back towards the heels, then to the sides, forward, Just a couple of rounds here before we move up into a down dog. And I'm switching sides, of course, switching directions really, going a couple of times the second way. Good. Great. Then from here, I'm coming back to that tabletop. I'm going to move my knees a few inches back, curl my toes under one more time if they were not curled under, and I'm going to start pushing my hips really up towards the downward facing dog. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do here is to look at the position of the hands, make sure that the knuckles in my forefingers are pressing down, and I'm giving a lot of power into the pinky side of my hands. So from my shoulder blades, I'm widening and pushing down towards the pinkies. As I press in that way, the mat down and forward, I'm elevating my pelvis, I'm toning my belly, and here, if you want, you can pedal your legs a few times, moving the hips, wiggling a little bit side to side. And then I'm going to say, lift both your heels high over your toes, bend the knees, keep pushing your hip creases up towards your sitting bones, draw the low belly in, stay there, send the inner thighs back. So intentionally, I'm trying to send the inseam of my pants backwards, right? The inner thighs. And then I'm going to keep all of that and slowly start bringing my heels back and down, stretching them any amount that I can. Take a breath here. Good, and then I'm going to bring my feet together at the back of the mat. I'm going to inhale and send my right leg up and bring the left heel over my toes. Once I have that, I'm going to draw my low belly in. I'm pushing my mat away a little more. I'm bending my right knee to bring the heel towards my hip. And then I'm coming towards the top of a push-up. So my knee is close to my chest. I'm pushing the floor a little more so I can lift that knee a little higher. And then I'm going to put that right foot in between the hands. Of course, if it doesn't get there, you make it come there. With your hand, you can help it, okay? So in here, the only thing that I'm going to do is to tell you to try and tone your back outer shin, bring it more towards the midline of your mat. That means that I'm becoming lighter, let's say, on my pinky toe, so I can reach more into the right side with that outer shin. Besides that, I'm going to push through the back heel and I'm going to sit a little deeper into my front leg, any amount that you can, okay? Firm the right hip towards the left side of your mat. Take your tailbone under your pelvis, so bring it in. And as you move your low belly up, reach forward with your spine. So it's like if you're growing taller, okay? Take a deep breath. And then with the exhale, send the right leg back. We are back to down dog. Good. Now I have my feet together again, and I'm going to switch sides. Left leg goes up, right heel comes over the toes. Push the mat so your hips go a little higher with the belly moving in. Bend the left knee so your heel comes towards your hip, and then reach forward into a plank. Push the mat away, the shoulders are over the wrists, and then you bring that left foot forward in between the hands. Good, we are in the lunge. I didn't say, but you can always put blocks under your hands so you have extra support, or you elevate the floor if you need, okay? Now from here, I'm making my right pinky toe light so I can tone that outer shin in. I'm pushing through the heel. I'm sitting a little heavier, right, into my left leg, taking my tailbone under, belly in, and reaching forward with the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, left leg back, down dog. Good. Then from there, with the feet hip distance apart, or even a little wider if you want, we are coming into a plank pose, and we're going to stay here for a moment. Press through the heels, push with your hands, widen a little bit in your upper back, but lengthen through the crown of the head. And press your hands down and towards your feet, like if you want to drag them towards the feet. Then come down. You can always use your knees for this. And then we are going to add a Sphinx pose. So I'm going to bring my forearms in front. They are, my elbows are under my shoulders. I'm extending both my legs and pressing with the tops of my feet down. If you can, spread your toes, bring your tailbone in and draw the low belly up. Then from there, I'm going to push with my elbows down, drag my hands and forearms towards me. And with the lowest ribs in the front of my trunk, I'm going to try and reach forward towards my elbows. I'm going to also lift the chin of the chest, and my shoulders are moving away from one another. This seems like not a lot is happening, but there's a lot happening. So tailbone in, low belly up, reach up with the front of your spine and keep the chin of the chest. Take a breath. Good, and now I'm going to add a challenge to this, okay? And you choose if you want to take it or if you stay here, it's totally fine. Pressing with the tops of my feet down as I'm doing, tailbone in. The two sides of my hips or hip bones are pushing down as well. I'm going to make my left arm really steady and heavy so I can support myself with that side. And I'm going to bring my right hand behind the head. With my head pushing into my hand, I'm going to try and send my right armpit a little further back and my right elbow a little further back. And I'm almost like twisting to the right a little. Good, then I'm bringing that right forearm down and resetting. Push with both hip bones down, tailbone in, low belly up, and we go to the second side. Okay, so I'm pushing down with my pubic bone, but I'm lifting through the chest, left hand behind the head, and I'm gonna push my head into the hand. If you can, left armpit goes back, left elbow goes back. Try and keep the hip points pressing down onto your mat. Then release, left forearm. Beautiful. From here, we are going to tuck the toes under and you're going to walk your toes in as much as you can, which will lift your thighs possibly off the floor. Now take your tailbone in and draw your belly in. Push the floor away with your elbows and forearms and come into a forearm plank. Push through the heels, send those inner thighs up and tone your outer shins in. Reach longer or reach taller through the crown of the head. And then bring the knees down and the belly down. Move the hands so they are under the shoulders or a little further down. Tuck the toes. We're going to push ourselves into a child's pose for a moment with the toes tucked. Take a breath in. Exhale through the nose if you can. And then we go up to down dog. Full breath here, pushing through the hands, reaching up with the hip creases, inner thighs move back, keep the upper back broad. Good, then again, I'm going to put my feet together. I'm going to lift both heels over the toes and the hips up, reach the right leg up, bend the right knee, bringing the heel towards your hip like before, and then knee to chest, plank pose. One more time, push. Good, right foot forward in between the hands, left knee comes down this time. Great, from here, I keep my back toes tucked because I want to again tone my outer shin towards the midline of my body or the mat. And then with my hands, I'm going to press into my front thigh and let my hips come forward. So what I'm doing is again, sitting deeper into my front leg, okay? Once I have that, I'm going to make sure that my tailbone is moving down as much as I can. I'm toning my right glute as well as the left one, so they are both moving into the midline of my body as well. And keeping all of that, with my hands, I'm pressing a little bit into my thigh so I can lift the trunk a little more. Good, then from there, I'm going to send my arms up. Reach, reach, reach. And then bring your hands into your side ribs and with your hands physically lift that a little more. So it's almost like if you're trying to really reach up with the rib cage away from your pelvis. Tailbone down, low belly lifting. And then keep that height that you created and go back up again with the arms. Inhale. And with the exhale, bring your right hand into your right thigh. And with your hand, turn that thigh out a little. So I'm rolling it out towards the right. Then I'm going to reach up with the left arm, come all the way towards the right. And then I'm going to hook my left elbow into the right thigh or knee. Any place that you can go, right? It can be on top or it can be outside. Then once I have that, I keep trying to roll my right thigh out so I can bring my belly a little higher. And then I'm going to put my palms together. Press the right palm into the left one so you can lift the chest a little more. Good. Keep bringing that back shin, outer shin in. And from your tailbone to your head, reach up, grow taller. And coming back to center. And with the exhale, I'm going back to down dog. One big breath here, maybe a sigh out, maybe just a ha to release. And we go into the last side, bringing the heels both over the toes, low belly moving up, push them out of the way, left leg goes up, bend the left knee, bring that knee towards the chest, push the floor away in that plank, left foot forward in between the hands, right knee comes down. I'm keeping my back toes tucked like I did on the other side, and I'm trying to pull that outer right shin into the midline of my body, okay? Then from there, I'm taking my tailbone down, reaching forward with my spine, hands to my left thigh, and I'm going to let my pelvis drop a little more towards the front of the mat. Good. From there, low belly lifting, tailbone down, sit a little deeper into that front leg if you can. Good. And then let's go with the arms up. Reach up, get tall, tailbone down and belly in at the same time. So we support the lower back, keep reaching up. Remember when we were holding the side ribs, imagine you're doing that or that you have an extra set of hands and you're reaching up through the rib side up to the skies. Good, then we put that left hand onto the left thigh and we try to roll it out a little, reach up through the right arm, go a little bit over to the left and hook that right elbow onto the left thigh or knee. Good, any amount that you can go, okay? Now as I'm pressing my elbow into the thigh, I'm pushing so I can lift my belly a little higher. Then I'm going to sit my pelvis a little heavier again, tailbone down, left palm touches the right palm, and it's going to push it down a little so you can lift the chest a little more. Good. Keep the chest broad, tailbone down again, and make yourself tall from your tail to your head. Tone those inner legs towards one another. Then we come back to center and back to down dog. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Then we are coming into a full plank again. Shoulders are over the wrists. We are pushing through the heels and sending the inner thighs up. Low belly lifting. Reach forward through your sternum. Then exhale. Come all the way down. Beautiful. From here, we are going to take a cobra. So I'm extending through the legs, tailbone in, reach up with your shoulders towards your ears. And once you come tall, send the shoulders away from one another towards the back. Good. Then send the shoulder blades down your back to lift the sternum a little more. Tailbone in, inhale, exhale. Good, let's push ourselves back into a child's pose. If your knees are sensitive and child's pose doesn't work, you can come onto your back and you can hug your knees into the chest. Let's take a couple of breaths. Good, okay. Then from here, I'm slowly coming up and I'm going to show you another little trick that we are going to do sitting here. Okay, so I'm sitting and what I'm going to do is to put my right shin in front of me and it's like parallel to possibly the front edge of your mat, let's say. And then the other leg is going to go right on top. So what I'm trying to do is to line up both my shins, one on top of the other. Now, very normally, this that you can see may happen to you as well. I started with my leg that it's my most toned leg, so it's more challenging for me to have that hip open. So you see that there's a space in between. I'm showing the space in between my knee and my foot. So what I'm going to do is to cover that space with something that helps me release my knee down into the support. So you can put pillows, you can put blocks, you can put books, a box of tissues, anything that you have with you, okay? Now, important here is a couple of things. With my hands, I'm gonna go back to the flesh of my buttocks and move it back a little. So I'm kind of like lifting my butt flesh and moving it back so I have more support through the sitting bones. After doing that, I'm going to make sure that my feet are active and they are like pushing into the walls that I have on my side. So I want to push away from me with my feet, and then I'm going to sit tall. You can bring your hands behind you so the spine stays tall, and this may be already firing your outer hip. So if you feel already that there's a lot going on there, you're going to stay here. Good. For the ones who want to go a little further, and if your hips feel opened up and you don't feel so much of something going on, then you bring your hands a little more to the front and you choose any amount that you want to come towards that forward fold. So for that, I need to bring my low belly into my body, keep the chest wide, and then maybe walk myself a couple of inches. The more you go forward, the less moderate the shape will feel, right? Because the hips are being asked to open more. So the more you go, the more you will feel it. So measure what you need for today. Take a breath. And then walk it back if you were folding forward. Good, we're going to bring the legs in front, shake them a little so we can take our last side. And now I'm going to do the opposite. So my left shin is going to go under in front of me and the right one on top. And I forgot to say on the other side, but for some of us, this shape is not possible at all, like not even bringing the shins one on top of the other. So in order to keep opening the hips, the shape that I would do before this one would be just taking that shin in front like a cross-leg position, and that will still open your hips. So you can do that one instead of bringing that leg on top, okay? So as I said before, you see how like here I have much less of a space, right? So it may happen that for you, this side is even wider than the other, you need more. So you can put a tall block, you can put a medium block or a blanket or a pillow, anything that you need. If there's no need to put anything, don't. Just sit tall. Remember that we are moving the flesh of the buttocks. We are pressing with the soles of the feet away from us, and we are sitting tall, either holding the feet or touching there in the front or bringing the hands behind. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And your choice if you want to bring it for an extra breath to a little bit of a forward fold. Keeping the chest opened. One way to make sure that we keep the chest open can be to bend the elbows a little, right? So that will force you to stay wide in the top of the chest. And then I'm walking slowly back, re-extending the legs, shaking them a little. Beautiful. And then we have like a minute left. So we are coming onto our backs, hug the knees in, rock a little bit side to side or do some circles there. Good. And let's add a twist. So I'm going to cross my right leg over the left one. I'm going to put my arms out to the sides, either a T-letter or a cactus shape. I'm picking up my hips and sending them to the right so I can drop my legs to the left and bring the head over to the right. 2 breaths here. Then returning Resetting my pelvis to the center and switching sides. Left leg comes over the right one. I'm picking up the hips to send them to the left just a little bit so I have more space to drop the legs. Relax the upper back, bring the head to the left. Try and soften the shoulders, 2 breaths. Then we are slowly returning back to the center. We are at the time of ending. If you have a little bit of extra time, widen the feet, bring the knees together, bring your hands on top of your belly, relax the elbows and the upper back, and give yourself a few breaths to finish up and close this little journey we took together. I'm going to officially close this session, but if you have extra time, like I said, stay there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining these sessions every time or most times. I hope to see you again. Happy holidays, everyone. Stay healthy. Namaste.